Okay, now it's time to do a quadratic formula. So this is this really long formula that's just given to you. So I'm going to write it out. And when you take your test, just have it with you and remember A, B, C. So here's our equation. 9x squared plus 5 equals 14x. To use the quadratic formula, you have to have it equal to 0. So I'm going to move this 14x over to the other side of the equation. And then standard form, you write the x's in what we call descending order. First you write the x squared, then you write the x value, and c is the constant. It's the number all by itself. Okay, so a is 9, b is negative 14, and c is 5. And now, this formula is kind of scary looking, but everything goes in here. Okay, so, and those give us our x values or our solutions. So x equals negative b, that's b, negative 14, plus or minus square root b squared. B is negative 14 squared. Minus 4, and then AC. Well, A is 9, C is 5. And then a really big fraction all over 2 times A. And A is 9. So now we're going to simplify this a little bit. So we have positive 14 because negative is positive. And then the bottom is 2 times 9, which is 18. So I'm going to simplify just this section. I'm going to do that by putting it in a calculator. So I have negative 14 squared minus 4. A is 9, C is 5. So that's the square root of 16, but the square root of 16 is 4. So this whole thing becomes the square root of 16 and then 4. So that's what goes here. All I did was simplify that one section. And then the last step is you want to split the plus or minus. That's how we get 2 answers. So I have 14 plus 4 over 18, and I have 14 minus 4 over 18. And then we just keep going. 14 plus 4 is 18, over 18 is 1, 14 minus 4 is 10, over 18. And again, I'm totally fine if you guys want to use a calculator for little things. Both of those divide by 2. So it reduces to 5/9. So our answers are 1 and 5/9. And maybe you're like, what the heck, what does that even mean? So that is, let me open our graphing Desmos. We just found where we're crossing the axis. That's what the solution is. Where are we crossing the x-axis? So 1, and then 5/9 is the same as 0.55555 forever. This is rounded. Okay, so let's do one more. And it's the same thing. We're going to use the quadratic formula. So I'm going to write the quadratic formula. And then we need to identify A, B, and C from our equation. But just like last time, we have to have it equal to 0. When we have standard form, plus C, I was just copying above, sorry, it equals 0. Okay, so let's minus the 32 on both sides, and that's an x. 32x, and then I'm going to rewrite it in descending order. So x squared, x, and the constant. So A is 5, B is negative 32, and C is 35. And then we're going to plug it into the formula. So x equals negative b, so b is negative 32. Plus or minus square root b squared, negative 32 squared, minus 4 ac, 535, all over 2a, well, a is 5. Okay, it's all in the formula. It's a lot, but let's just look at it in pieces. So minus minus becomes positive 32, and then we're just going to simplify this piece. So I'm going to type it in. Negative 32 squared minus 4 AC. A is 5, C is 35. Okay, so that is actually the square root of 324. I just said what's under the square root, and I'm going to see if that simplifies. It does. So the square root of 324 is actually 18. So that piece is 18, and then we're dividing by 2 times 5, which is 10. So once that part's simplified, you split the plus or minus. 32 plus 18 over 10, 32 minus 18 over 10. Okay? And I'm just going to calculate it. So 5 and 7/5. So that's where our multiple answers come from. And again, if you're like, what are we even doing? We are finding the x-intercepts. So you're welcome to check or just go in the graphing part. 5x squared plus 35 equals 32x. Our x-intercepts are 1.4, that's our 7/5, and 5.